Israel Shalom classroom. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Peace and blessings. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Yahweh Shai. A hearty shalom to you mighty men that go out there and labor and do the work of the Most High, presenting your body as a living sacrifice, and doing all things for the elect's sake, pushing this truth and magnifying the ministry. Shalom, shalom. And shalom to all of the men that may not be out there on the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom to all of the aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there, holding it down in the households, reverencing their husbands, being submissive and diligent, and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom, shalom. It's another Sabbath. All praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
God. Shabbat Shalom to everybody in the classroom. Shabbat Shalom to everybody watching on YouTube. As we always do, we're going to start with Acts chapter 18 and verse 4. Right?
This is the book of Acts chapter 18 and verse 4. And he reasoned in the synagogue every Shabbat and persuaded the Jews and the Greeks.
Right, so this is another Sabbath service to persuade Israel who knows that they're Israel to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, the faith, the charity, the brotherly love, all things to magnify the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And to those who are just finding out that they're Israel, to repent, forsake the ways of this world, come out of the shadows of Babylon, and come back to serving the Lord our God. Right? And remember this to all the people who are just coming into the truth. Let the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua be true and every man a liar. Right? And the only way we can stand and get this understanding and break down false doctrine is through Philippians 4:13.
Book of Philippians chapter 4 and verse 13. I can do all things through Hamashiach Yahushua, which strengtheneth me.
Right? So through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, we're able to cast down false doctrine, stand 10 toes down for the doctrine that we have learned through the spirit, right, of the Lord. That's can I get a precept before we go into it? Let's get John 14 and 26, man. Right, John 14 and 26. Right? And we're standing strong for the doctrines that we learn, right? And we're standing strong to wake up the elect, man. That's what we go out on the highways and byways to do, is to wake up the elect. Right? That's what we're waiting for Luke 21, what we're about to go into, to pop off, man. We're waiting for this, man. That's why we out there in frigid cold weather. All the camps out here, man. We waiting for all hell to break loose, so we got to put in our work. Right?
Book of John chapter 14 and verse 26. But the Comforter, which is the Holy Ghost, who the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said unto you.
Right, so the Lord is stirring up our remembrance, man, putting it in our spirit to understand how to keep the feast days, how to keep the high holy days, how to remain clean, get your house in order. Right, so that's why we say, if they're not coming out of the scriptures, cast it away. Right, like the brothers say, eat the meat and cast away the bones. But make sure it's thus saith the Lord.
Con, you can get the book of Ezekiel, chapter 12, verse 23. So like the brother said, man, we waiting for this thing to kick off, man. Lord willing, everybody's ready on this live when they kick off, man. You got to get your spirit right.
23.
Yeah, and this is for all those men that say, oh, all you do is talk about the end of the world. All you do is say, oh, hell gonna break loose. Bring it out, Kim.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 12 and verse 23. Tell them, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand.
What the Lord say?
Say unto them, the days are at hand.
The days are at hand, man. Stop thinking it's another 100 years. The Lord said the days are at hand and the effect of every vision. You know?
And the effect of every vision.
So you got to be watching in this thing, man. Because at a bat of an eye, all hell can break loose at any given second. And you got to understand the words of the Lord. The effect of every vision the Lord ever prophesied about is at hand. And let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2. All right, let's get that, man. So you brothers, man, you know, you think that you have all the time in the world to get right. Right? Maybe you'll tell, like I tell you, Sirach 5 and 4 through 7. Right? You tarry to turn to the Lord, man. Or maybe I'll be on fire next week. I think I'm gonna catch my fire. Right? Like people jog, I want to catch my second wind. Oh, brother, you gotta get it now, man.
Con.
Bring that up.
2 and 1.
2 and 3.
Book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time.
There's an appointed time for these prophecies to come to pass. They all don't just happen at once. Every prophecy don't just happen at once. That'd be confusion, man. This vision is for an appointed time. Read.
But at the end it shall speak.
At the end, you're living in the end, and it's speaking very loudly, man. Read on.
And not lie. Though, Salakia, though it tarry.
It may seem like things are taking its time. It may seem like things ain't really happening, man. Seem like this is what we keep talking about. They keep talking about the end of the world. Why do they keep talking about that? Why don't you talk about Psalms chapter 30? Right? Tell me how tall Esther was. Let's take a break from the prophecies. Let's get on Esther's height. Was she 5'3" or 5? We don't care about that, man.
That's right.
Nobody cares how tall Esther was and if King Solomon had an afro or not.
That's right.
We have to go into these prophecies. Right, read on.
Wait for it. Salakia, wait for it. Because it will surely come. It will not tarry.
See that? The Lord said, wait for it. It will surely come. And it won't take too long. Because eventually, we're no longer going to be in this classroom. Right? The days are coming where you're not going to see brothers anymore, man. You may not see them to the kingdom. You know, oil can break loose and you just quite out there. And time is going to move fast. Then the chair is going to come. Either you make it or you don't. So, we stopped in Luke chapter 21. We're going to finish Luke chapter 21. Signs of the times and the end of the world. This is the third installment of Luke the 21st chapter. Right? We've covered just about really everything from 1 to 19. Right? Being delivered up. Famines, earthquakes, pestilences. These are different signs. And you should write these down. Right? And then just check them off when you see them come to pass. Right? Just check them off. And then now you got the other prophecies so you can know what's going to happen next. So let's bring that up.
Book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
All right, let's go to Job 11 and 6. All right. Yahushua prophesied about the destruction of Jerusalem. On one level, that's talking about 70 AD. Right? 70 AD. Right? So let's bring that up.
Book of Job, chapter 11 and verse 6. And that he would shew thee the secrets of wisdom, that they are double to that which is.
So certain, like we brought out earlier, Luke 21, Mark 13, Matthew 24, some of those prophecies are only for that time. Right? Some of those prophecies are only for the time of Yahushua. But some of those prophecies are not. Some of those prophecies are for this time. And some of those prophecies happen to both. So you have to be able to have the discernment to differentiate when this prophecy came to pass or if it didn't. You got certain men that teach that everything is fulfilled already. There is a theological term that I can't think of the name of, but they say everything happened already. Well, how did everything happen already, man? They say the Edomites are done away with. When did the Edomites get done away with already? And who did it? And where did it happen? Right? There's no account of that, man. So you have prophecies in the Bible that are twofold, doublefold. Now, on one level, this actually happened. Go to Luke 19 and 41. Right? Yahushua said, you're going to see Jerusalem compassed with armies. What armies is that? The Roman armies. Led by the Flavian dynasty. General Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian. A father and two brothers. Let's bring that up.
Book of Luke, chapter 19 and verse 41. And when he was come near, he beheld the city.
Yahushua came to Jerusalem and looked at it.
And wept over it.
And started crying. Go on.
Saying, if thou hast known, even thou, at least in this thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace, but now they are hid from thine eyes.
Yeah, Yahushua was crying because he knew what would happen to Jerusalem in a few years. He said, man, if y'all knew what I knew, y'all would be crying too. Y'all would be vexed. But now the Most High didn't reveal it to him. Right, go on.
For the day shall come.
What the Lord say?
For the day shall come.
Now this is 70 AD. Right? We're not going to do a 5-hour lesson on the Roman Jewish wars. right? We encourage you, brothers, to go deep into it and look up the different emperors that took us down, right? And the fights that we had. You can go on Kings and Generals and Victors, various sites, and they'll go and break it down on a great level. So let's go on.
That thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee.
What is a trench? A trench is a siege. When they surround your city, this is what the Romans would do. They would surround your city and build a wall around your city. So you can't leave and can't nobody come in. They won't even just go up and fight you. Right? They'll build a wall around your city and siege it. Now Jerusalem is a highly elevated city. It's up in the mountains. Not like Esau, but it's elevated. So it's not an easy city to take down. And it's heavily fortified. That's why the other nations, they had a hard time taking Jerusalem. Because you have to walk up or climb up this great big damn mountain, man. Mount Zion. Right? The city of David, to be able to take this city down. So what the Romans did was they besieged the city. They laid the trench against it. So nobody can leave and no food can come in, which leads to a what? A famine. Let's go on.
And compass thee round, and keep thee in on every side.
Hey, imagine somebody did that. They surround your house with tanks. Either you come out, you get put to death. Can't nobody come in to help you, and that food is going to run out. You can read that in the book of Judith. When they besieged, we can get that in Judith. Was that the second chapter? Let me see if I can get that real quick. They actually besieged Bethulia and Bethsura and the book of Judith. And it said they were about to eat the holy things. So that's what happens during the famine. Yahushua is prophesying about the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. You got it?
I got a precept.
Come.
This is the book of Esther. Oh, no.
I got precept.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, go to Deuteronomy 28 and 49. Deuteronomy 28 and 49. So Deuteronomy 28 and 49, right, is going into the Roman Empire on a deeper level. Because as you read down line upon line, you understand it's talking about Jerusalem. When you get to like 56 and 54, it goes into a siege. We apply it always, often to the so-called white man and the colonizers, which you're not wrong for doing so, but its true context is going into the siege. So let's bring that up.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
That's the Roman symbol, the eagle. Go on.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
And they were fluent in Latin, right? We didn't know that. We spoke the Hebrew. Some guys knew, but not us as a nation. Read on.
A nation of fierce countenance, which thou, Salakia, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor shew favor to the young.
Right?
And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle.
He ate up all of the cattle. Go on.
And the fruit of thy land.
Right?
Until thou be destroyed.
Right? He chopped down all of the olive trees, pomegranate trees, stopped up all of the wells. Right? When you go deep into that history, this devil was being a damn demon, man.
Okay.
Go on.
Which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil.
See that? That's a famine. No food. Read on.
Or the increase of thy kind.
Right?
Or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee.
Go on. So this is the siege that we're reading about. They will come and you will starve out.
And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates.
Yeah, in your cities. This happened to Jerusalem. Go on.
Until thy high and fence walls come down.
Yeah, if you look up a map of Jerusalem of 70 AD, it was sectioned off. Right? You had different walls. You had the inner city, you had the outer city. Even in 2 Kings 22 and 14, you read about the woman that brought them to college. That's a particular part of the city. So it was laid out and divided to different areas, and you had different walls. So it was a highly fortified city. You couldn't just walk into Jerusalem, man. You had watchmen all around. There's accounts of the Ishmaelites trying to take Jerusalem down, and they said they saw angels, and they turned around, man. So you can't just come up in that city unless the Lord allow you to come in that city. Right? We can go into a little more of that.
Wherein thou trustest throughout all thy land.
Right?
And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land.
Right?
Which the Lord thy God hath given thee. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body.
Now you have to eat your own people. Imagine that. You're that hungry. You have to resort to eating your own people. Cannibalism happens during the famine. Go on.
The flesh of thy sons.
We have to eat our sons. Imagine that. You're looking at your son, he's crying, right? And you're hungry. And something gotta give. Go on.
And of thy daughters.
You have to eat your daughters. Imagine that. Cooking your daughter. That's sick. That's what happens when you break the commandments. Go on.
Which the Lord thy God hath given thee.
Right?
In the siege and in the straitness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee.
Yeah, we was eating our own girdles, grass, leaves, first fruits, clothes. Go on.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother.
Hey, he was robbing his brother, man. This is the original context of that, man. Go on.
And toward the wife of his bosom.
Right, he left to eat his wife. Go on.
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Look, I'll be back. I'm going to go get some food. Right? And never saw him again. That's it on that. That's the siege that Yahushua is talking about. You got it, King.
Come on. Let's go to Judas chapter 4 and verse 1. Right? This to let me back on what the brother was going into, man. Right? So Israel, we're not a dunce and slow people. Right? We had wise elders who foresaw evil coming, understood the times we were living in, and what they do, they prepared for these actions that the other nations were getting ready to do. Right? We're going to start and read down to verse 5.
Book of Judas, chapter 4 and verse 1. Now the children of Israel that dwelt in Judea heard all that Holofernes, the chief captain of Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, had done to the nations. And after that manner, he had spoiled all their temples and brought them to naught.
Right, so word traveled fast. Right, what Holofernes was doing, man. They were spoiling them, robbing them, killing them. Right, that's what happens in war. Right, it's a lot of mass murder. Right, it's a lot of robbing, people being taken into captivity. So the Jews heard about it, right?
Therefore, they were exceedingly afraid of him and were troubled for Jerusalem and for the temple of the Lord their God. For they were newly returned from the captivity.
So they just got out of captivity. Like, man, we're about to go back into captivity. Look how they sweeping through and doing all these nations, right?
And all the people of Judea were lately gathered together. And the vessels and the altar and the house were sanctified after the profanation. Therefore, they sent into all the coasts of Samaria and the villages and the Betharon and Belman and Jericho and to Koba and Esau'S and to the valley of Salem,
Right.
and possessed themselves beforehand of all the tops of the high mountains.
Right, so they sent all these things that were holy unto the Lord away, and they set themselves up on top of these high mountains. Right, like the brother was talking about how Jerusalem was set high. Right, Jerusalem's not in a low valley. You gotta walk real slow when you're walking down to it. No, you gotta climb. It's a long, treacherous road to get up to the top of that mountain. Right. Start from the top of 5 again, Bobby Shaw.
Verse 5 from the top. And possessed themselves beforehand of all the tops of the high mountains, and fortified the villages that were in them, and laid up victuals for the provision of war, for their fields were of late reaped.
Right, so what did they do? They prepared themselves for war. Right, they knew what was coming. They fortified the villages. They had watches up top. Right, and like the brother was going into, what you get into this in Leviticus and Kings in general, man, you start to see how long it actually took the Romans to get to Jerusalem. What, it took like 7 years?
Yeah, 7 years.
Yeah, they started in like 63 AD.
66.
66 AD, and they didn't finish it until 73 AD.
Yep.
Right, they was trying to go in there. They was making bridges. Right, there was no way they could get to Jerusalem, man. Right, because the Lord set it up so that we were a fortified city. Right, we were defended by the angels, and we had high mountains. We had the terrain with us, right? So it's yeah, you got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, quick precept for that. Psalms 48:1. Great is Yahweh and greatly to be praised in the city of our God and the mountain of his holiness. Beautiful for a situation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion, on the sides of the north, the city of the great king.
Con, right? And that's how beautiful the Most High is. He thinking 10,000 steps before man, right? He set up the apple of his eye in the chief spot so that we was defended by the terrains and by the angels, man, right? But our forefathers were thinking ahead. That's why Yahushua is warning them about 70 AD, right? He said, once you see Jerusalem can pass, you better head up into those mountains, right? You better get up out of there. Well, I don't think we touched on that yet, but I'm just jumping ahead. But the Lord was giving them, what is it called when you let somebody know ahead of time? Forewarning. He was forewarning them what was about to happen. You got it, right?
Calm. You can get the book of Judith, chapter 7, right? You can get verse 9. Get straight to the point, man. Like the brothers are bringing out, man. Hey, look, they had to starve inside of that thing, man. Because it was built up so strong and mighty.
Book of Judith, chapter 7 and verse 9. Let our Lord now hear a word, that there be not an overthrow in thine army. For this people of the children of Israel do not trust in their spears.
Right, it's not like we had extra long spears or pointy spears that were stronger than the next army. Read on.
But in the height of the mountains.
But in the height of the mountains. That's how high literally Jerusalem was, man. Read on.
Wherein they dwell, because it is not easy to come up.
It's not easy to come up. You'll slip. You'll break your wrists. Right? You'll break your ankles. A lot of men, they'll tumble downhill, man. Imagine climbing up a mountain to fight, man. Right? Hey, look, you all off balance. Right? And us, we would fight and we would do things like that because we were used to that terrain and that mountain. So certain men, they would have army, they would have this, have bulwarks and tents and all of those things. They were on mountain terrain and it was hard to fight. Read on.
To the tops of their mountains. Now, therefore, my Lord, fight not against them in battle array.
Right, because it's not evenly playing on the ground. Don't fight them in battle array, right? Brother got the picture right there too. Look how high the city is. I don't know if brothers can see it.
You gotta back it up a little bit.
Yeah. So it's on a mountain, it's on a slope. That's right. Don't fight at them in battle array. Read on.
And there shall not so much as one man of thy people perish.
Because they would have perished if they think that they could come up against Israel in battle array on the mountains. You get the book of Psalms chapter 125 verse 1. Why was it called Mount Zion, huh? Because of the mountain. Right? Give me the book of Psalms chapter 125 and verse number 1. Right, there you go. Now imagine just climbing that. Better yet, going to war on that. Psalms chapter 125 and verse 1. Yeah, that's mighty.
Book of Psalms, chapter 125 and verse 1.
Right.
They that trust in the Lord shall be as Mount Zion, which cannot be removed.
It cannot be removed. You can't remove a mountain. Read.
But abideth forever.
Right.
As the mountains are round about Jerusalem.
What the Lord say?
As the mountains are round about Jerusalem.
You got mountains round about Jerusalem. Jerusalem is not a playing field. It's mountains all around and compassed about Jerusalem. Right? Read 2 again.
As the mountains round about Jerusalem, so the Lord is round about his people.
What does that mean? Like the brothers are bringing out, the angels are round about Jerusalem, just like the mountains are. So he had a plethora of angels all around Jerusalem, as well as the armies. So like as well as the mountains. Read on.
From henceforth, even forever.
Forever. So when we going into this thing, you got to go into the history. You understand how the mountains look and how hard it was to besiege. Come on. Quick precept, Hebrews chapter 12. I'll read it, King. I'm already there. 12 and 22. But ye are come unto Mount Zion, and unto the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem, and to an innumerable company of angels. See that? So that's plain. That linked directly up to what the brother was going into. Now, let's go to Psalms chapter 137 and 7. Right? Psalms chapter 137 and 7. So, and you got to know some topography in this thing. All right? Elevation, geography. You can't just know, okay, I got my beard. And this truth is more than just growing your beard out, man. Trying to find all of the top oils. Castor oil, tea tree oil. Oh, brother, I'm used to coconut oil. All you do is work in your beard. You don't study. You haven't fasted since the last day of atonement. You just combing your beard out, man. You gotta know more than life about your beard.
That's right.
Jacob worried about a beard and a woman, and what the lamb is going to taste like on Passover. All right, let's bring that up.
Book of Psalm, chapter 137 and verse 7.
Right?
Remember, O
No,
Lord.
forget.
Remember, O Lord,
Right?
the children of Edom.
Remember what the children of Edom, that's a commandment. I don't want to, let's just forget about it. Let bygones be bygones. You're commanded to stir up your mind and meditate on all of the evil that the Edomites did in 70 AD and 586 BC.
That's right.
Right? When the Babylonians came and they burnt the temple down. That's first Ezra 4 and 45, man. The Edomites burnt the temple down during a war that they had nothing to do with. Go on.
In the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof.
It said, burn it down, burn it down, burn it down. We went into the history. They actually tried to light the temple, the inside, the mercy seat and stuff on fire. Right? And urinate and do all types of evil to it, man. Abominate the Most High. They heard that's where Moses talked directly with the Lord. They said, that's where the Lord is at. We'll light that on fire. All right, go on. So they said, burn it down to the ground.
O daughter of Babylon,
Right?
who are to be
They're
destroyed,
supposed to be destroyed.
happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
Right?
Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones.
That's plain. Go to Obadiah real quick, 1 and 10. So you're going to take Edomite babies and dash them against the stones. You're going to crack their skull open. I mean, bust wide open, damn skull, pieces of the skull in your beard, blood all on your face. The Lord said you're going to be dancing in the blood of the wicked, man. You're going to be swimming them around, you throw them around, you might hit them like this, or angels catching the outfield and spike it down. It's going to be like that, man. Nothing nice is coming to the children of Edom. Real quick, precept, Obadiah 1 and 10.
Book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and 10.
Right?
For thy violence against thy brother, Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
Right?
And thou shalt be cut off forever.
Go on.
In the day.
What day? We're going to read about this day.
That's right.
In the day, go on.
That thou stoodest on the other side.
He was in our city. He was on the other side. Go on.
In the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces.
We can read that in Luke 21 and 24. They carried us away captive. They stole the menorah. There's something called the Archetytus. Brothers heard of the Archetytus? The Archetytus is a monument and a trophy built by the Romans to commemorate the capture of Jerusalem in 70 AD. You have some?
Yeah, I'll bring it up.
Okay.
But brothers probably seen this where they carrying the menorah.
Yep.
Right, and it's all the Edomites and it's carved into the wall. That's the Archetytus.
Come. And there's a coin that they made too. You have some? Oh, there's a coin that they made called Judah Kapu. Right? Judah Kapu, which means Judah has been captured. The White King. Yeah, this is the Archetytus. And they make replicas of this all over the world. They have replicas in France, Spain. It's in all of the top Edomite kingdoms. So they can always come to it and remind themselves how they took you down in 70 AD. That's the Archetytus of the what? And this is the picture of them stealing the menorah. Where's that menorah at? And we're gonna get it back. That's a big menorah.
There's like 5 people carrying it.
Yeah, 5 people, and we're gonna get it back, man. Right? Now, that's proof that the Bible is real. Now, can you pull up King Bible Kashar, Judah Kapu? It's a coin that the Romans made. This is what America does. Don't they have special coins, right, on the back of the damn quarter with their American events?
They got slave plantations on some of them.
Yeah, they got slave plantations on some of them. Yeah, commemoration coins. Rome, that shows that this is Rome. They have a coin where they have this Edomite standing proud, a palm tree from Jerusalem, and Eve, the daughter of Jerusalem, with her hand in her hands, being conquered.
He says it's called Judah what?
Judah, C-A-P-U-T. So this shows you that they actually was proud about taking this down. They made coins about it. Let me see. Salaki, can you got it? What is this?
Yeah, that's that weirdo. The guy be rapping with the red head, but come, man. So what they do? Give me. Let's go back to Psalms 137. We can go to verse 5, because like the brother said, a lot of people come into this truth and they forget the things the Lord commanded them to not forget. Right? They don't go back and search. They just go off. Oh, there you go. Come, and then they just go back and search what the people they watch on YouTube tell them to remember. But you got to go and search yourself. Right? Psalms 137. Go to verse 5.
God. Book of Psalms, chapter 137 and verse 5. If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning.
Right, so David is saying, if I ever forget the mother of us all, right, let my right hand forget how to work. That's everybody's dominant hand, man. That's your strength. If you forget Jerusalem, let your strength cease, right?
If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth.
If I forget my homeland, let me not be able to speak, man. And a lot of people, they don't even think about Jerusalem, man.
Right.
They don't think about Jerusalem at all, man. I be fantasizing like, man, I wish I could just see one of the trees.
Palm trees.
Stand by the water, the smell, right? The conversation we probably had. Imagine walking past somebody, he walking with, clusters of grapes. Like, hey, what's going on, brother?
Right.
Shalom.
Right.
Right, we got fly garments on. People forget these things, man. The Lord said, David said, if I forget that, let my mouth cleave unto the roof, my tongue cleave unto the roof of my mouth.
That's right.
Right, that's how important to remember these things are. The Lord commanded us not to forget Jerusalem. Right, so that's for the brothers and sisters watching, man. Always remember Jerusalem, because that's the goal right there. That's the finish line, to make it back to Jerusalem, man.
That's right.
Right, so don't forget that. You can finish the verse and then we got back into it.
If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom.
Right, so we prefer anywhere above Jerusalem. Some people, they want to go to Tahiti, Tijuana, Bora Bora, damn Zanzibar.
Right.
Ain't nothing compared to Jerusalem, man. It's a big beach. It's a beach and it's flowing with agriculture, but you got these bastards over there now. That's why it look like a desolate, dry land.
Right. Quick precept. This Psalms 122 and 5. It reads, "For there are set thrones of judgment, the thrones of the house of David. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee." So if you don't love Jerusalem, you're not going to prosper. If you love crack, heroin, whoremongering, dope, meth, there's no wonder our people aren't prospering and their tongue is cleaving to the roof of their mouth and they have no strength. Because you forgot who you were. That's what the Lord said, remember. It starts in your mind. Once you remember who you are, and then you have the want and the need and the desire to get your heritage back. Now we got the coin right here. This is Judah captive. This is a coin with General Vespasian on the top with a fat, nasty neck. And a Roman and a daughter of Jerusalem, if you want to, you can look it up on your own, being captured. She got her head in her hands. See that? So they made coins about taking Jerusalem down. And when these guys took Jerusalem down, when you go into it, the Romans rewarded these guys heavy. They gave them women, they gave them little boys, gave them gold, gave them all types of accolades, man, for taking Jerusalem down. Can I finish Obadiah real quick? Can we finish that king in Obadiah 1 and 11? Let me finish that real quick. Right? Obadiah 1 and 11. So Yahushua prophesied about this. The siege of Jerusalem in 70 AD. And in the top, after we didn't learn about this in school, we never learned about the siege of Jerusalem. I remember learning about Hammurabi and the social studies. Brothers know who that is. Yeah, George Washington. But we had to learn about Confucius. And all of these nasty damn devils, man. But we never learned about Jerusalem. Let's bring that up. Unless it was Anne Frank. We had to read about Anne Frank. Right? And what's that?
Elie Wiesel.
Elie Wiesel. That's the only time you learn about Jerusalem, about a little white girl trying to save her family from other Edomites.
Right.
That's madness. Let's bring that up.
Book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 11. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners and entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them.
Right?
But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced, Salakia, over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction.
So they rejoiced. They made coins, trophies, gave them little boys, gifts, food, and banquets. Took them to the Colosseum and they threw the roses and they were waving in the parade like this. Because they rejoiced at our downfall. Go on.
Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress.
And they spoke pride. Finally got them damn niggers. Right? Or whatever they called us back then. You know it was something off. Go on.
Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people.
And he entered into the gate. That's why we showed you. He carried away the menorah, the candlestick, the table. Where's the brazen laver and the altar of incense, man? And the tabernacle. He carried everything away. Where's our tabernacle and the altar of incense and the showbread? He probably ate the showbread, spit it out, laughing, foaming at the mouth. It's probably all types of idolatry and evil going that day. Like in Maccabees, they dallied with harlots. Go on.
In the day of their calamity, yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance.
What did they do?
Nor have laid hands on their substance.
So they robbed you, man. They robbed you. Your substance, your gold, your silver. You understand? Only the Lord's holy things. They didn't rob you, they robbed the Lord. How do you rob the Most High God? That's off. Go on, all of the vessels and the cups and the snuffers and the plates and the blue scarlet, and there's plenty of things in the temple, man. It's not just a damn stones in there. Go on.
In the day of their calamity, neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape.
Because people were fleeing, and the Romans were right there, selling them, killing them, and enslaving them. That's it on that, king. You can go all day on that. What you got? You get the book of Lamentations, chapter 1 and verse 10. So they stole and robbed everything that we had, man. And the more you know about history and the scriptures, the more mad you'll be, man.
Right.
Stop asking us why we going this so much, man. That's what Yahweh Shah told us to.
Right.
Go to Lamentations chapter 1 and verse 10, man. And you read about that all throughout the Bible. Right? The book of Lamentations, chapter 1 and verse 10.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 1 and verse 10. The adversary hath spread out his hand upon all her pleasant things.
And that's plain, man. The adversary spread their nasty hands among everything we had. And they stole it, man. Like the brother said, the menorahs, right? Everything we had, man. They stole it. Read on.
For she have seen that the heathen entered into her sanctuary. Whom thou didst command that they should not enter into thy congregation.
They should never enter into the congregation. But they kicked down the doors. They invaded it, man. Imagine you at home minding your business, reading, right? In the comfortability of your house, and somebody kicks down the door and steals everything you've ever had, man. Bind you up, put you in chains, and you never see your house ever again. That happened to all of our forefathers, man. And you can't forget that, right? You can read 11 King.
God, all her people sigh. They seek bread. They have given their pleasant things for meat.
For meat. Pleasant things. What do you do with meat? You eat it up, man. They took all of our pleasant things and they just enjoyed it. That's what it said. Right? They probably was bending the menorah, probably banging it, right? Doing all types of off things to it, man. Right? They was doing all type of lewd things in the temple when you read Maccabees. Right? Read on.
To relieve the soul.
To do what?
To relieve the soul.
To relieve the soul. Read.
See, O Lord, and consider, for I have become vile.
I'll become vile, man. When somebody take advantage of you, hey, that's vile, man. When they entered into the congregation, kicked down, and stole everything, that was vile, man. So we can't forget these things.
Right. So like I had a precept. Let's go to 1 Esdras 4, and we can start at verse 49. Right? Because Esau don't respect us. Right? Esau don't listen to us. But what do? When these other nations come up, they bow their heads. They hearken a little bit. Not these Edomites now, but back then, right, they are hearken because these are base men. Right? These men have no understanding. Right? Now let's see what the King Darius told them. Right? Start at verse 49, Baba Shah.
Book of 1 Esdras, chapter 4, and verse 49. Moreover, he wrote for all the Jews that went out of his realm up into Jewry.
Right? So Darius, right, you know, I mean, you got to get into the history of this thing, man. Right? We was able to go back into our land, right? We got all our goodly possessions, our beautiful vessels, right, to set our land back up, man. That's when you get the story of Nehemiah and Ezra. Right, you got to really get into this thing, man. You can't just read it like it's a book, because you're going to be lost as hell. Yep. You're going to look at it, you're going to be like, hold on, wait. How we go from this to that? Right. It don't make sense. But you got to go precept upon precept, right?
Concerning their freedom, that no officer, no ruler, no lieutenant, no treasurer should forcibly enter into their doors.
Right.
And that all the country which they hold should be free without tribute. And that the Edomites should give over the villages of the Jews, which then they held.
Right, so after we got taken captive into Babylon, the Edomites was dwelling in Babylon, right, thinking it was sweet, kicking their feet up, defiling the land, right? So the Lord had to get them up out of there, man. Right, they was holding it captive, man. They burnt down everything. Right, if I was to kick this brother out of his house and send him out his way, you think I'm just going to let that house be empty? No, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to look around, see what I can come up. Right, so the king said, get up out of there, man. The real people of the land is coming back. Right, and that's what all the brothers on the highways and byways are saying through the Spirit of the Lord. Right, get ready for that eviction notice, man.
That's right.
Right, get ready for that.
That's right.
Right, just wanted to touch on that.
Real quick, let's go to the book of Daniel 9 and 26. Right, so we talk about the siege of Jerusalem. Brothers are going all throughout the Bible, man. From the so-called Old Testament to the so-called New Testament. Daniel 9 and 26.
Book of Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 26. And after 62 weeks.
Yeah, that's 62 weeks times 7, 434. Go on.
Shall Messiah be cut off.
Crucified. Read.
But not for himself.
He died for the nation of Israel. Go on.
And the people of the prince.
And the who?
And the people of the prince.
Who are the people of the prince?
Israel.
The Romans. No, the Romans. The Romans. The Romans are the people of the prince. Go on.
That shall come, shall destroy the city.
You see that? So they came and destroyed the city. Daniel prophesied about it too, man. Daniel said the Romans are coming to destroy the city. The prince is the prince of the power of the air.
Right.
The spiritual demon Satan, who has a people on the earth. Just like the Mosai has a people. Satan has a people. Right? He will come and destroy the city, go on.
And the sanctuary.
And the sanctuary, like the brothers went into.
And the end thereof shall be with a flood.
A flood of armies coming in. Ransacking. There's actual paintings of them throwing babies off the cliff, man. Babies off the wall. Setting Jerusalem on fire. The end would be with a flood. Go on.
And unto the end of the war.
And it was a war. Right? They call it the Jewish revolt. How are we revolting? That's our land. You're in our land and then we're revolting. Right, go on.
Desolations are determined.
See that? In the end of the war, desolations are determined. Now, real quick, go to the book of 2nd Esdras. Chapter 12 and 11. Right? Because we're going into the Roman Empire. We talking about it. Luke 21, you can kind of go into anything, man. Talk about the Romans. You can go with the earthquakes, the famine, the pestilence. So why are we going into this? Because you had a man by the name of Vespasian, right? We can read about Vespasian in the Bible, who took down Jerusalem. You can read about him in 2nd Esdras, the 12th chapter. It's not going to say Vespasian. You don't have to go into Bible concordance and type it in. It's not going to pop up. But you know it based off of the prophecy. Let's read that in 2nd Ezra 12 and 10.
Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 12, starting at verse 10. And he said unto me, this is the interpretation of the vision.
Right? The vision is in the previous chapter, the 11th chapter. The interpretation is in the 12th chapter.
The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel.
By a show of hands, what beast did Daniel see? The who? Hold on, let the brother answer. What you say, King?
You said what beast he saw?
Right. I thought you said it.
You said the eagle?
The eagle. Right? Where's that from? Daniel 7th chapter.
That's right.
Although it's not called an eagle, you find out that it's an eagle in the Apocrypha. Let's get that real quick in Daniel 7 and 7. Right? So you can read about the Romans in the Bible. People say the Bible's not real. Why are you reading about Vespasian in the Bible? Nebuchadnezzar, Holofernes. These are real men. You can read about Alexander, Cleopatra, Demetrius, Caesars, Julius Caesar, Octavian, Alexander the Freak, Ptolemy, Claudius, right? In Acts 18, Pharaoh, Satmuk, Nico, all of these men, and these are historical figures. Hezekiah, these are real men. How can a mortal man just make up all these names? He would have to be thousands of years old. So people that say the white man what white man wrote the Bible? Which one? He had to be thousands of years old. The white man, which one? What's his name? I'm gonna start asking, which one? Because now you gotta prove it.
So then you got to link up the New Testament with the Old Testament, man. And that's impossible to do.
And it's the same spirit.
Right.
You can't fake the spirit. How is the spirit the exact same? So, but they don't have the spirit. But let's bring that up real quick. Daniel 7 and 7.
God. Book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 7. After this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast.
Right, the fourth beast.
Dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth.
Yeah, great military power. Right, go on.
It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it.
This is the eagle, right? The Roman Empire that Daniel saw, but Daniel really didn't know. Because in this chapter, the other beasts are described. The Babylonian kingdom is described. A lion with eagle's wings. Then you read about the Persian Medo Empire. A bear with 3 ribs and a mouth that stood up on one side. Then the Greeks, you have a leopard with 4 heads and 4 wings. That's all described. But then this beast is not really described. If you look it up on the internet, it's going to show you it's a dinosaur. Somebody pull up Daniel chapter 7, type in the 4 beasts real quick. It's going to tell you it's a damn T-Rex.
Right. No, it's a Triceratops.
Yeah, Triceratops.
Yeah.
Where is it at in the Bible? Because these Edomites are trying to break it down. It's a damn Triceratops. Or is it a Tyrannosaurus Rex? Right? Let's read on. It's an eagle. Right, you found it? All right, Con. Hold on. You got it too?
I got it, kid.
We're going to pull it up, man. So don't let the so-called... There you go, right there. Look at this. All right, I remember when I first came to the truth. I looked this up. I said, I don't believe that. Can brother see it? It's a damn dinosaur. Right? They show you, they got the first 3 right, but they winged the second one. They winging it. Yeah. That's the best they came up with, a dinosaur. Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. It's speaking about the eagle. But Daniel didn't know that. So go back to real quick, 2nd Ezra 12 and 11. Oh, come on, go ahead, King.
Come, I want to bring out
Real fast to prove that, right? Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1 and verse 11. Real fast. Because these prophets, half the time, hey, man, they didn't even know what they were seeing, man. They didn't understand the vision yet. Right? We're about to prove it. Let's go to Jeremiah, chapter 1 and verse 11.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 1 and verse 11. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Jeremiah, what seest thou?
What seest thou, Jeremiah? Jeremiah is in a vision. What do you see, Jeremiah?
And I said, I see a rod of an almond tree.
No, I see something deeper than that.
I see a rod of an almond
That's
tree.
what he physically saw, man. Right, read on.
Then said the Lord unto me, Thou hast well seen.
Thou hast well seen. He didn't say, well, I see, Babylon coming in, and it was a siege, and, I'm getting in depth, and the Lord said, okay, well, you seen well. No, he literally seen a rod and an almond tree. You know?
For I will hasten my word to perform it.
Right?
And the word of the Lord came unto me the second time, saying, What seest thou? And I said, I see a seething pot, and the face thereof is toward the north.
Toward the north. So the Lord breaks it down. Jump to verse 15.
Verse 15, For lo, I will call all the families of the kingdoms of the north, saith the Lord, and they shall come, and they shall set everyone his throne at the entering of the gates
Go ahead.
of Jerusalem.
Of Jerusalem. The north. Babylon. But what does that got to do with a seething pot and an almond tree, man? He didn't know until the Lord broke it down. That's why, literally, when you go into this thing, amen, like the brother said, you got the interpretation, then you got the breakdown. Even the disciples. You understand? They besought the Lord, and the Lord gave them the breakdown to these things. So these visions, you got these Edomites in dark places, they jotting these things down, and these elephants, and damn serpents, and they just trying to make Jumanji come to life.
Right.
They don't understand how deep the Bible actually is.
Yeah, there's a YouTube ad that you got this Edomite with a ponytail. I don't know if brother saw, he's sitting around with glasses saying, we saw, they said, now what do you think about the serpent?
yeah.
Why does the serpent talk? And then you got Jake saying that, dang, this guy looks deep. Because he got the globe in the background, a bookshelf.
Camera
He got camera circling, he's sitting with his legs crossed. And why would the serpent talk? Well, I'll tell you. We're not listening to him, huh? He's going to break it down to you. The people believe a serpent was walking on all fours. That sounds like a Esau'S fables and tall tales, But let's go back to 2 Ezra 12. Let's read on 12 and 11.
Book of 2 Ezra, chapter 12 and verse 11.
And you can read about this eagle in Job, Obadiah, all throughout the Bible, Matthew 24. And an eagle is a proud animal. That's in Job. Let's get that real quick in Job 39 and I believe 26, if I'm not mistaken. All right, let's go to Job chapter 39.
27.
Con. Yeah, we can start at 27.
Book of Job, chapter 39 and verse 27.
Now, real quick, when you read this chapter, the Most High gives you the different spirits that animals have. Like what they're known for, right? Like an ostrich is known for being a foolish woman. Or being a fool. Right? You read about a hawk. You read about horses are known for being powerful. Dogs are known for being loyal. Every animal has been created with a different spirit. Right? Cats are creepy and ominous, man, and weird. That's just the way the Most High made them. They don't come when you home, like a dog. They look at you up and down, and they hop up on something nasty. Right? Come on, man. Every animal got a different spirit. So the Lord is about to get you the spirit of an eagle. Right? You're going to see it goes directly hand in hand with the so-called white man. So let's read that.
Book of Job, chapter 39 and verse 27. Doth the eagle mount up at thy command?
Meaning, can you tell an eagle what to do? Can you tell an eagle, why don't you get up and go fly? No, he's proud and stubborn. Mount up means fly. Can you just tell an eagle what to do? No. Now, even these top guys that be in these stadiums, they have these falcons. They kind of keep on their finger like this. Right? And they kind of whisper something in their ear and they make them fly across the arena. Brother seen that? And they land back on their finger. Or you can tell a pigeon, they used to carry mail, man. Right? Crackheads, they clap for pigeons, man. To let them know the police is coming. So you can train these other animals. A parrot can learn how to do the ABCs, but you cannot train an eagle. Right? Go on.
And made her nest on high.
She make her nest on high, like the so-called white man. He likes to live up in the mountains. Right? Up in the caves, skyscrapers. Like an eagle. Go on.
She dwelleth and abideth on the rock, up on the crag of the rock and the strong place.
Tell me that's not the so-called white man. Mountain climbing, mountain hunting, like the eagle. Read on.
From thence she seeketh the prey.
Why do they have these tall buildings?
From thence she seeketh the prey.
So they can look down at you like a hawk, an eagle. Oh yeah, look at him. Maybe we can oppress this city. They got drones, and so they can look down at you. right? And look at you like prey. Read on.
And her eyes behold afar off.
Yeah, meaning they're into monthly prognostication, witchcraft on a deeper level, sorcery. They're trying to tap into the future. Wise men. Now, eagles have the highest vision. They can see what, 2 miles away, 3 miles. They can swoop down in the middle of the dark night, man. They can see through dark. You know, certain creatures, like the so-called white man, he can see in the dark. You're blind, and he can see. Go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 12.
I can get this quick precept first.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 28. For the deeper level of those carcasses is us, man. Not having the spirit of Yahweh. We're walking dead bodies, and we're literally the valley of the shadow of death, man. Right in Babylon, walking around, don't have the spirit, and we're dead, man. And literally, one of them dead bodies is walking around, smoking, drinking, and in clubs. There those carcasses are. You understand? Those eagles, they're going to be gathered together to devour, man. But once you brought the life and you had the spirit of Yahweh, man, we not dealing with that. We protected by the Lord. And they can circle us all they want, but they can't do anything to us, man.
That's right. I got a precept with that.
Bring it up.
Let's go to Revelations, chapter 19, Salaki, and go to verse 17. Right, like the brother was saying, whenever you see a whole bunch of vultures and falcons in the air, you know it's a dead carcass around. Right, the eagles as well, man. Look at all the so-called white men. They always come to New York and do their embassy, what is the UN meetings?
UN meetings,
They
right.
always come to the middle of New York, always to the middle of these big cities.
Right.
They know where the amount of dead people are at. Our people, man.
Right.
Right, spiritually dead, man. Well, let's get Revelation 19 and 17.
Book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 17.
Right, and this is talking about after, you know, Yahweh shall come and do the great slaughter, but in a sense, it's speaking about now as well, man. Right, because our people are dying left and right. People in the truth falling out of the truth. Right, people in the truth giving up the ghost. Right, this is literally talking about war after Yahweh shall come, but you can use it in the same context. Right, to show you that the fowls are always going to congregate and come around the dead bodies.
And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great Yahweh, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great.
Right, so this is talking about after the destruction when Yahweh Shah comes back. But look, the Lord got these eagles and these falcons, these unclean spirits, all in Babylon the Great, and they devouring the kings, who is us, right? The captains, who is us, all of us who are in a lower state. They eating us up and devouring us, putting crack, all manner of wickedness to keep us oppressed and in the lower state. Right, they devouring us. If the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American areas were so poor, why do they always come and set up shop in there?
Right.
It's a strategic meeting and council. Right, that Psalms 83 is no joke, man. Those are all the fowls that come and eat up our people, man.
Even Job said, I'm a brother to dragon and a companion to owls. You know, on a spiritual level. So let's go back to 2nd Ezra.
Right.
Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 12, and verse 11. The eagle whom thou sawest cometh from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel.
And like Ariah was going into, certain prophets perceive certain visions. Everything's not meant for everybody. That doesn't mean Daniel was wicked because he didn't get the breakdown. Ezra got it. That's what the Most High gave Ezra. Ezra didn't get what Daniel had. Abraham didn't get what David. Every prophet is set up according to the dispensation of the Most High. So never feel like, well, I don't know, I don't know. Brother, not everybody receives the same gift.
Go to 1 Corinthians 13 and 9, Bob, can show that. I think we might have got one verse out of Luke, man.
That's how it rolls.
That's how it goes, man.
That's how it rolls through the Spirit, man.
Right, 1 Corinthians 13
John 3 and 5, man.
Right.
The wind go where it listeth, so are they that are born of the Spirit.
13 and 9.
Book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 9. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when the which is perfect, but when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away.
Right? So, like the brother said, the Lord may give a vision to one prophet that he don't give to another prophet, but when it comes together, it paints the most beautiful picture in the world. Right? So, I hear a lot of brothers, they always be like, well, the Lord was dealing with this man because he got this vision. Well, no, it was set up for an appointed time, for an appointed reason. Like Isaiah talks about Babylon the Great.
Right.
But 95% of it is talking about this Babylon the Great. Right? Not the Babylon before. Right? So you gotta have discernment and understand that everything works for the betterment of the whole.
That's right.
So let me back.
That's right. So let's read on to 2nd Esdras.
Book of 2nd Ezra chapter 12, continuing verse 12. But it was not expounded unto him. Therefore, now I declare it unto thee.
Right.
Behold, the days will come that there shall rise up a kingdom upon earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it.
It's the Romans. Go on.
In the same shall 12 kings reign, one after another.
So this is going to link directly up with Luke the 21st chapter. Because Yahushua prophesied of Jerusalem being conquered. Now, he was conquered by one of these kings. You understand? He was conquered by one of these kings. Now, do brothers know the 12 kings?
12 feathers. Julius Caesar.
Come on, brother.
Augustus.
Right.
Caesar. I know Nero.
All right, we're gonna get him. Brother, he on the roll, man. There you go. So you got Julius Caesar, you got Octavian or Augustus, you got Tiberius, you got Caligula, you got Claudius, you got Nero, you got Galba, Otho, Vitellius, Vespasian, which we're reading about, Titus and Domitian. Those are your 12 kings. So Luke 21, you can link it in with the Apocrypha because the Apocrypha goes into these Roman kings. Brothers understand that? So when you explain it, somebody says, how do you know? Well, you can go into it because the eagle obviously is the Roman Empire and his first 12 kings are documented. Right? So you can read about Vespasian in the Bible. Read on.
Continuing, verse 14. In the same shall 12 kings reign, one after another. Whereof the second shall begin to reign and shall have more time than any of the 12.
And that's a major hint so you can go into it. Right? That's Octavian. He reigned for over 40 years. Right? So the Lord is giving you the biggest clues to let you know who these kings are. Right? So that's it on that. That's all I wanted. To show you Vespasian in the Bible. To link it up with Luke 21, Daniel 9, Deuteronomy 28, Lamentations 1, and all the precepts the brothers went into. Let's go back to Luke 21. Right? Luke chapter 21. And where we left off. Yeah. Was it 21 and 21?
21. Book of Luke, chapter 21, and verse 21. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
Hold on, Slocky. Read 20 again.
Verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
Now go to Matthew 24 and 14. On one level, it's the 70 AD. But we're going to get it in other accounts to let you know it's also a prophecy. Because we are Jerusalem. You understand that? And the days are coming where we're going to be compassed by armies. Let's read that in Matthew 24 and 14. On that.
Book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
Did that happen during the time of the apostles, or is that happening now?
It's happening now.
It's happening now. So we know, okay, this is talking about current events or current time. The gospel is being preached all over the world. Read on.
When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation.
So Matthew 24 and 15 and Luke chapter 21 and 20 is the exact same prophecy, but Matthew 24 and 15 is going into a future account of this. Right? So sometimes, like I said, in Matthew 24, you want to be able to differentiate when this happened and when it didn't happen.
Right? So you have the first abomination. We covered this all the time. The first abomination of desolation, the Greeks. The second one is 70 AD. And you have a third abomination of desolation, which is coming very soon when these Romans are going to what? Destroy the temple and the altar. Is that a physical temple and an altar? No. We're the temple. We're the altar. So read 24:15 from the top.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 15, from top. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet.
Yeah, Daniel the prophet. Daniel the 12th chapter. Get that in Daniel 12 and 10. Start at 10. So Daniel spoke of many abominations of desolations. He spoke of one in Daniel 11 and 30 on down with the Greeks. But that's not the one that Yahushua is talking about. Why would he be talking about when you see the Greeks come? The Greeks already are taken out. That would make no sense for him to say, when you see the Greeks and Antiochus come, then flee. That's already over with. Right? 70 AD and the days to come. Okay, you got something?
I got you after that.
All right, come, let me get that real quick.
10. 10.
12 and 10. I said you. Daniel 12 and 10, bring it up.
God. Book of Daniel chapter 12, verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand.
That's why they're making this fourth beast the dinosaur. They don't know what's going on.
Right.
They think the third temple is going to be built by Amalek in Israel. They're looking at the Jewish man, waiting on him to start building a temple so World War III can kick off. You fool! We're building the third temple right now.
God.
And we're almost done, man.
God.
Right? We're almost done. There's a few more bricks that gotta be done. Sometimes you lay on bricks in the wintertime. Right? Sometimes you lay them when it's ice cold out. And your hand get all kind of... And there's certain jobs when you do refractory work, and you deal with bricks, and then blot out your whole fingerprint, man. You got people, because they laboring so much, they can't even see their fingerprints anymore. That's how brothers are in this thing. They laying bricks, and it's damn rubbing against your skin, and your hands all chopped up. So we're building the temple now. Read on.
But the wise shall understand.
But the wise shall understand. Read on.
And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up.
That's what Yahushua is talking about, the daily sacrifice taken away. Now, on a spiritual level, we're doing the daily sacrifice, which is what? What is the daily sacrifice by show of hand?
Making your body.
Hold on, but
Like doing the work of the Lord, teaching, reading.
there you go. That's the daily sacrifice. You gonna say the same thing? Let's prove that real quick. Let's prove. All right, let's get a quick precept on that.
All right, good one.
Come. Right. So we're doing the work of the Most High. We are priests, and you're in the temple. It's the so-called white man's allowing you to do this for now, but eventually the days are coming. He's going to shut this down. And you're no longer going to be able to be a priest in the temple, just like the Greeks and just like the Romans. And they're going to destroy the temple and break it down. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 4, verse 5. Offer the sacrifices of righteousness and put your trust in the Lord. That's plain. So the main sacrifice you're doing on the altar is what? Righteousness. Let's go to Sirach 35 and 1. Righteousness. That's the main sacrifice. Is that something physical? Hold on, brother. Here go my righteousness. Make sure it's without spot. No, your works have to be without spot and without blemish. Not an actual bullock and a lamb, but your works can't be defiled. That's what the Most High said the law is a schoolmaster. Because you have to literally check meticulously for a blemish in the animal, man. You gotta open up the fur, right? Is that a blemish? You gotta look behind the ear. You have to lift up the paw, look up the leg. Because if you offer that animal and they got a blemish on it and you didn't check it, and you're going to be put to death. So you have to offer your body as a sacrifice. And if you got blemishes and you got spots, you're going to get put to death. And if your righteousness that you're offering, like let's say you're doing this work, but you're really doing it to get women. That's a blemish, man. Or you're doing this work to be seen of men. That's a blemish. And the Lord isn't accepting it. Let's go to Sirach 35 and 1.
Book of Sirach, chapter 35 and verse 1. He that keepeth the law bringeth offerings enough.
See that? You keep the law, you bring offerings enough.
Because, I mean, the Lord don't care about your 1,000 bullocks and rams while you're committing adultery. Go on.
He that taketh heed to the commandment offereth a peace offering.
Y'all brothers are doing peace offerings right now. Y'all don't even know. Y'all are doing peace offerings. Right? Go on. This is going on in the temple. Read on.
He that requiteth a good turn offereth fine flour.
Now y'all see the fine flour? Do y'all see the fine flour? You don't see the fine flour? All right, physically no, but what about spiritually? All right, now brothers didn't see the fine flour. How you the priest? You gotta see the fine flour.
Right.
Right, go on.
And he that giveth alms sacrificeth praise.
So these are all of the sacrifices, your righteous works. Alms, loving your brother, requiting a good turn, keeping the law. These are the sacrifices that you're doing as priest. Under the high priest. Who's the high priest? Yahushua. After the order of Melchizedek. You had other priests like Ithamar, the son of Kohath. These are priests that you read about in the law. We're the other priests. We're not Yahushua, but we're priests. After the order of Melchizedek. You got something?
God, I did.
Come.
Let's go to Isaiah 19 and 19. Right? Isaiah 19. Well, let's read Matthew 24 and 15 one more time, Bible Shah. And then we'll go to Isaiah 19 and 19. Right? To pinpoint it and bring it to a perspective so brothers can understand it. Right?
Book of Matthew chapter 24 and verse 15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand.
Right? So the abomination of desolation, like the brother went into, right? With the Greeks, they did abominable things in it. Right? Now let's see the third abomination of desolation that the Lord is talking about. Right? Let's go to Isaiah 19 and 19. Right? Because we're not building a physical temple. Right? We're not having the brothers who say they Levites going in there and offering up these defiled goats and lambs and things of that nature.
Right. Book of Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 19. In that day shall there be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt.
Right, so an altar is being built up in the midst of Egypt.
That's right.
Right, where's that altar that's being built up, man? Right, that 144,000, the 1/3, those who are repenting, those who are getting right. But mainly this is talking about the elect, right?
And a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord. And it shall be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord of hosts in the land of Egypt. For they shall cry unto the Lord because of the oppressors, and he shall send them a Savior and a great one, and he shall deliver them.
Right? So the Lord is raising up Yahushua to come and get us, right? We already know that. So what they're going to do in that abomination of desolation, they're going to come and destroy the temple of the Lord again, right? That's when the fifth seal going to pop off, right? Brothers being martyred for the name of the Lord, who stood stiffly for the Lord. Right, like how the priest was getting killed back then because they wouldn't defile the temple,
right?
Offer swine's flesh. They wouldn't let them come and put all the abomination. That's the same thing that's going to be happening to the men and women who stand stiffly and boldly for the words of the Lord, for the commandments of the Lord, man. Right? So it's gonna be like simultaneously, right? They're gonna be like, look, it's time to go to war with these Israelites.
Right.
We're not playing with them no more. Too many people coming out of Christianity.
Right.
Too many people not eating pork.
Right.
Too many people, they messing up our holidays, man. Christmas is down 85% this year.
Right.
Who had a turkey? Nobody had a turkey? Look, it's the Israelites' fault.
Right.
Boom. Then the fifth seal come. Right? And that's when the altar is going to be destroyed, man. They're going to be like madmen sparing none. Right? And if brothers want to go into it, or sisters, brothers did cold cuts on that. Yeah. It's a month ago, though. Yeah. Right? You're going to have to go searching. Yeah. You're going to have to go searching for that, but it gets deep, man. It gets very, very deep.
God, let's go to Ezra 3 and 1. Let's go to the book of Ezra, chapter 3 and 1. So right now, that's why it's important to read Nehemiah, Ezra. Read these accounts, and it's a shadow of things to come. The same thing they did back then, building a wall and laboring, is what you're doing right now. The Lord said in Exodus 19:6 that you should be a nation of kings and priests. So we're all priests right now. You got your diet. Job said, let my righteousness be as a diadem. Brothers have the turbans on. You got the garment on. You have the damn stone plate on, the ephod. You have it on right now. right? But on the spiritual level, right? You put it on every time you're keeping the commandments.
That's right.
So bring it up. Brother, I don't know what to wear today. Brother, you got it on, brother.
Right.
First of all, you got the whole armor of the Lord on. On top of that, you got your priestly garment. Right? Bring that up. After you wash yourself, that's the law.
God. Book of Ezra, chapter 3 and verse 1. And when the 7th month was come, and the children of Israel were in the cities, the people gathered themselves together as one man to Jerusalem. Then stood up Jeshua, the son of Jozadak, and his brethren, the priests, and Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and his brethren, and build the altar
And doing what?
and build the altar of the God of Israel, to offer burnt offerings thereon, as it is written in the law of Moses, the man of Yahweh.
So they actually built the physical altar, and the heathen got mad. You're building an altar right now, and these heathen are getting mad. They're doing sacrifices all over again. They can smell the sacrifice, man. Every time a brother repent and they watching the videos, they smelling the burnt offerings, right? Give me Romans chapter 15 real quick, right? They're smelling these offerings that we're doing, man. Right? We're going to be, most I will go out today, it's going to be offerings and below freezing weather, man. Right? Still going to be a sweet savor. Romans chapter 15 and verse 16.
Book of Romans chapter 15, verse 16. That I should be the minister of Yahushua HaMashiach to the Gentiles, ministering the gospel of Yahweh, that the offering of the Gentiles might be acceptable, being sanctified by the Holy Ghost.
That's another offering we do. The Gentiles. Every brother that comes to the truth, it's an offering to the Most High. And instead of being sanctified by the salt, and you read the law, it's a very detailed process. Right? Fine flour mingled with oil. And things have to be done the right way. So you're offering up the Gentiles, they have to be sanctified by what? By the Holy Spirit. Not by the spirit of lust and vanity. Imagine you do your offering and you put the wrong, instead of salt, you use pepper. The Lord's going to kill you, man. Instead of fine flour, you use
cornstarch.
Yeah, cornstarch, man. And Jiffy Mix. The Lord is dealing with the Jiffy Mix and the cornstarch. Bisquick. Instant Bisquick. The Lord, give me real quick Leviticus 10 and 1. The Lord killed 2 men that were priests, man. So this priesthood is serious. You got to take this job serious, man. This priesthood is over the Levitical priesthood. And if they got put to death over the slightest thing, I mean, we get mercy now, but when the day come, and that judgment day, if you have blemishes and you have spots, you're not going to make it. Bring that up.
Book of Leviticus chapter 10, verse 1. And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took either of them his censer, and put fire therein, and put incense thereon, and offered strange fire before the Lord.
See that? You're supposed to offer fire. We always say be on fire. Right? That fire is supposed to be offered to the Lord. Right? Meaning your works, your zeal. They offer strange fire. Imagine offering strange fire. Meaning you might be on fire, but what kind of spirit are you in, man? Right. Strange fire. Pride is like strange fire. Vanity is strange fire. Like lust is strange fire, man. That's offering strange fire to the Lord. Right? Go on.
Which he commanded them not.
Which he what?
Which he commanded them not.
Yeah, because they're supposed to get the fire from the altar. But they got their own fire. Right? They do their own thing. If you don't get the fire from the altar is never supposed to go out. That's symbolic for the Most High, who's a consuming fire. So on a spiritual level, they neglected the Most High and went to do their own thing. And they thought it didn't matter. Right? They go, oh, fire is fire. No, fire is not fire, man. If it's not from the Most High, then the Most High is not doing it. Right? Read on, King. So they offer strange fire.
And before the Lord, which he commanded them not. And there went out fire from the Lord, and devoured them. And they died before the Lord.
And they what?
And they died before the Lord.
It is what it is, man. They died before the Lord. You do your own thing, that's the Levitical priesthood. How much more the priesthood under Yahweh Shah? You light some strange fire, you moving in the wrong spirit, the Lord gonna give you over to demons. Right? Spirits are fire. Right? Tell you that in Psalms 104 and 3, which maketh his angel spirits, his ministers a flaming fire. So demons are fire. So the Lord can send fire on you, manifest through demons, and destroy you, man. Because you want to offer strange fire. So the law is really a shadow of things to come. There's one more in that. Read on.
Then Moses said unto Aaron, This is it that the Lord spake, saying, I will be sanctified in them that come nigh me, and before all the people I will be glorified. And Aaron held his peace.
No, he has something to say to that.
And Aaron held his peace.
And a damn thing to say. It is what it is. You got it.
Calm.
Right, you can get the book of Ezekiel chapter 11 and verse 16. Right, so we bringing all this together through the spirit, man. Right, we are the elders. You understand? We are the sacrifice. And we got to do these things acceptable in the eyes of the Lord, man. The book of Ezekiel chapter 11 and verse 16.
Book of Ezekiel chapter 11 and verse 16.
Right.
Therefore say, Thus saith the Lord God, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries,
Right, we scattered abroad.
yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary.
A little sanctuary, man. Now, on a physical sanctuary, you have to go into a physical building. You have to physically be together. But the Lord said, though we're scattered abroad, we're in damn England, Africa, we on this part of the globe, we on that part of the globe. The Lord said he's going to be to us a little sanctuary, man. Why does it say little? Because it's not going to be a lot of men that's going to be in it, man, doing the work. It's going to be that small remnant, that elect, that cast away their old garment, put on the new ones, and do the work, man. You know?
In the countries where they shall come.
Right?
Therefore say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will even gather you from the people and assemble you out of the countries where ye have been scattered.
So the Lord is only going to save those in that little sanctuary. He's not saving the whole world, right? Go to the book, right, of Exodus chapter 30 and verse 7. So what are they doing in that little sanctuary? Like we bring it out, they're doing the work of the Lord, right? Right, the book of Exodus chapter 30, right, and verse number 7.
Book of Exodus chapter 30, verse number 7.
Right?
And Aaron shall burn thereon sweet incense every morning. When he dresseth the lamps, he shall burn incense upon it.
Right?
And when Aaron lighteth the lamps at even, he shall burn incense upon it, a perpetual incense.
A perpetual incense, read?
Before the Lord throughout your generations.
Throughout your generations. And we offering up the incense now, man, through our prayers. Everything we're doing is a shadow, like the brother said, of the law. Read on.
Ye shall offer no strange incense.
Well, what if I want to?
Ye shall offer no strange incense.
The Lord said perpetually throughout your generations, you're supposed to be doing this. But you cannot offer strange incense. Strange incense, like the brother was going into, that's going to hell off, man.
Right.
Whatever you do is going to go up to the Most High as a Savior. Whether you're on fire, whether you're diligent, whether you're reading, praying, fasting, giving charity, loving your brother, forgiving all of your brothers his trespasses against you, you understand? Or you could be a nigga in this truth, man. Secretly hate your brother, have all type of animosity and hatred, not being your brother's keeper. That incense is going to go up to the Most High God. Right? Read verse 9 again.
Ye shall offer no strange incense thereon, nor burnt sacrifice, nor meat offering. Neither shall ye pour drink offering thereon.
Right, you can get the book of Exodus chapter 30 and go to verse 30.
Verse 30.
Right?
And thou shalt anoint Aaron and his son.
Right, and we were anointed through the Spirit. Yahweh Shah, man. We anointed with the understanding. Just like the priest had to be anointed. Read.
And consecrate them, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office.
Right?
And thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, This shall be a holy anointing oil unto me throughout your generations.
What the Lord say?
This shall be a holy anointing oil unto me throughout your generations.
Throughout your generations. Meaning even to this day. You read about through ultra generations in the book of Numbers, chapter 15 and verse 38. And all the brothers got fringes on them, right? God, man. So all the brothers should be anointed to this very day through the same ordinances of the law. Read on.
Upon man's flesh shall it not be poured, neither shall ye make any other like it, after the composition of it. It is holy.
Right, don't make your own oil, your own understanding. Anointing yourself through your own doctrines and philosophy. You should be anointed by the Spirit and prophecy of the Lord. Read on.
It is holy, and it shall be holy unto you.
Right, this is the point. Read.
Whosoever compoundeth any like it.
Right, compounded any like it. I'm going to put this and I'm going to mix that with that. And the Lord said don't take, in the book of Matthew, chapter 9 and verse 16, don't be mixing your own cloth with your new cloth, man. Don't take this anointed, I'm going to put 3 drops of that, and then I'm going to splash that into it. Right. Whoever mixeth the understanding and the Spirit of the Lord, read 33 again.
Whosoever compoundeth any like it.
Anything like it.
Or whosoever putteth any of it upon a stranger.
We're not going to cast our pearls before swine. Read.
Shall even be cut off from his people.
And the Lord not dealing with false prophets, right, and disciples and men that are not of the Lord.
God, let's go.
Go ahead,
I'll grab some real quick. Let's go to Micah chapter 6, and we can start at verse 6. Right? Like, we're an example of Joshua, that high priest, man. Right? We taking off that filthy garment and putting on that beautiful vesture. Right? That fair mitre, those beautiful smells. Right, the Lord sees this and he smells it, and it's like, this is beautiful right here. Imagine how beautiful the temple smelled, man. Frankincense and myrrh. The whole land probably smelled on fire. Right. Then they was doing the offering. Right, you know, the Levites probably throwing down, man. Right, mingling it with the salt, frying it. Right, pouring out the wine. He was like, man, this is a feast right here, man. Right? Let's get Micah 6 and verse 6.
Book of Micah, chapter 6 and verse 6.
Right, and like the brothers were saying, man, we doing spiritual sacrifices every day, man. Not just Fridays and Saturdays, on the Sabbath day, the new moons, the high holy day. Every day, you should be doing spiritual sacrifices, man. Praying, right? Doing good, doing all the things the Lord commanded you to do. Like the brother says, a schoolmaster, man. You get the curriculum at the beginning of the year. At the end of the year, you got to take your final. Right? It's going to touch on everything that was listed in the curriculum, man. That's the same thing with the book of the Lord, man. How much more the book of the Lord, right?
Wherewith shall I come before the Lord and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves of a year old?
Right, should I come to the Lord with a whole bunch of calves for the sins that I have done, for the abominations that I did before the sight of the Lord?
Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, or with 10,000s of rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul?
Right, should I get all this innumerable riches to bring unto the Lord? Should I give my firstborn son to the Lord? The Lord's like, no, right? What the Lord say after that?
He has shewed thee, O man, what is good.
One more time.
He has shewed thee, O man, what is good. And what doth the Lord require of thee?
Right, the Lord done already showed us what he required of us, man. Because, you know, Israel wicked, man. We're gonna try to scheme and plot and get around it some way. Right, the Lord don't know that. He had a year and 366 days, so he's really 2 years. The Lord don't know that. The priests don't know that. Right? I'm gonna go ahead and commit adultery, but I got this lamb, unblemished, already set up for it, right? The Lord already know our hearts, man. But he showed us how to do good.
But to do but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. The Lord's voice crieth unto the city, and the man of wisdom shall see thy name. Hear ye the rod, and who hath appointed it?
Right, the Lord is crying, wisdom is crying out all throughout these cities, right? He's showing you, look, you got to do justly, right? You got to show brotherly love. You got to have charity, right? All that's listed in Sirach 35 is what brothers should be reading every morning and saying, this is what I got to do today. This is what the Lord requires of me, right? And the men of wisdom are going to hear it. And the men and the women as well. The men and women of wisdom, they're going to do this daily, day in and day out, no days off. Like the brother said, staying on fire. Not that strange fire, man. You taking a day off to go to a little Uzi Vert concert. It's off, right? Or you taking a day off to go into the studio and spit some fire about killing your brother or something, man. The Lord sees that, man. No, we on fire day in and day out, man. Magnify the name of the Lord and building up this temple, man. In season, out of season, hurt, healthy, sick, none of that, man. None of that matters. All that matters is getting the hell up out of Babylon and magnifying the name of the Lord.
God. And one thing about the law, it says the fire of the altar cannot go out. It can't go out. You gotta keep that fire burning and burning and burning. If that fire goes out, everybody dies. That's how it works. So you have to keep the altar lit on fire, man. Right? And the priest, one more thing, they didn't take days off. When did the high priest take a day off? He had to wear the bells. He couldn't really get out of that thing. Only way you knew he died is if the bells stopped moving. That's why we have to wear the pomegranates in there. Oh, there ain't no more bells? All right, Eleazar, you're up. Oh, Eleazar's up. All right, Phineas, and the next man's up. So you can't leave this temple, man. If you leave this temple, it's over. You can't drink wine, and the law is beautiful, man. If you don't understand the law, you're not going to understand the spiritual things. You need to know the law to understand the spiritual things. The law is spiritual. It's Romans the 7th chapter. Let's go back to Matthew 24 and 15. Do brothers understand how we're the priest? And how we're in the temple? All right, come. So let's go back to Matthew 24 chapter. 24 and 15. So this is after the gospel has been preached for a witness unto all nations, then the end shall come. Right? Let's pick it back up.
Book of Matthew chapter 24 and verse 15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet.
When you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, hold that. Go to Revelation 12 and 17. You're going to see it just like you saw it back then. You're going to see the tanks. It's going to be martial law. You're going to see the helicopters. You're going to see the national emergency alert. You're going to, what else you going to see? You're going to see the damn military coming in. Sirens, the air raid. What's that air, brothers? Can a brother play that air raid siren? You know what I'm talking about, the damn end of the world siren that we all are longing to hear. Right? You're going to hear that damn siren, man. And you're going to know this is it.
I got you.
So we're going to play this. This is what brother's going to hear, man. I think a brother had a dream about this. Years ago, brother from GMS, then you had the same dream, and the siren kicked off, and then you had the same dream.
Only they for which meet.
All right, you're not.
Yeah.
You ain't dealing with this. It's not that. All right, so we gonna show you this, man. You're not dealing with Liberty Mutuals, man. Right? And the so-called white man don't know a damn thing about liberty. So he want to give. Oh, that's it. See that?
That's a dreadful sound to hear, man.
Yeah.
It is.
Yep. Everybody phone gonna be going off. Damn phone vibrating. Tanks rolling through the streets. You see that? That's tough right there.
It's tough.
Now, I kind of went into it in the cold cut, I believe yesterday. They're even doing urban drills in certain cities right now. Yeah, in North Carolina. The military is out in the streets doing urban drills on how to infiltrate and take down these different cities like that, man. So they're doing it in North Carolina, and I heard they kind of moving around the East Coast. You might see the military out here doing drills. Are they doing that for target practice? Or are they doing that for you? Right? Oh, let's find out where the hiding places are. All right, man. Like we brought out before any siege, you got to send out spies. Even the Most High sent out spies. So they're sending out spies to infiltrate the city because a lot of Jakes, they're going to fight back. Right? They want to know who got guns. They're going to give a report, man. Right? Where's the hideouts? Who's the secret factions? Okay, this Israelite group, they're going to come with guns. All right, you don't have to really worry about this one. This is where their synagogue is at. This is where and they're doing it. Go to Revelation 12 and 17. So that's what the Most High is saying when you see the abomination of desolation. That's the major prophecy that's going to come to pass. Us against the so-called white man. Bring that out.
Book of Revelation chapter 12 and verse 17. And the dragon was wroth.
Who's the dragon? Esau.
God.
The modern day Roman. He's wrong. Like Amos said, he's mad. Why is he mad? Because we're building up the temple. And all these sacrifices are a sweet savor. Right, go on.
With the woman.
And we're the woman.
And went to make war.
What's coming?
When to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Yahweh and have the testimony of Hamashiach Yahushua.
Yeah, go to Revelation 19:10. So he's not coming to make war against a crackhead and a dope fiend and a damn whore at damn the strip clubs in Atlanta, man. You think the so-called, how do we stop them from stripping? Right? What do we do? He's not thinking about that, man. The damn crackheads, they're on crack. What's gotten into them? Let's shut that down. He put it there. He's not thinking about how to stop the strippers and the crackheads. He's looking at how to stop you brothers from doing the priestly duties.
That's right.
And slay the high priest. Right? He wants to slay the high priest when he returns.
Right.
Because if he slay the high priest, then all the other priests go out. Let's bring that up real quick. So, he's coming to make war against them that keep the commandments and have the testimony of Yahushua, which is what?
Book of Revelation, chapter 19 and verse 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant.
I am thy fellow servant.
And of thy brethren that have the testimony of Hamashiach Yahushua. Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy.
See that? The testimony of Yahushua. That's not what your grandmother sang on Sunday service. I got a testimony. At my so-called church, we had testimony time. And we had to get up and kind of just say what you're thankful for or confess something you're dealing with. And then the grandma come with the wife. It's all right, baby. All right, God is good. Right? That's not the testimony, man.
Right.
The true testimony is what? The spirit of prophecy. So if you're a prophet, the so-called white man has you in the crosshairs. You got the red dot on your chest like the damn video games, man. And they're coming after you. You're the number one threat. Everybody wants to talk about Al-Qaeda and the ISIS and the Taliban and the black Muslims, right? They're not the threat, and the KKK. You are the number one threat of this world. So you're the number one target. Go to you have a precept?
Go.
Okay, I got one now.
Come on, let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 16, and we can start at verse 68.
And we always bring this out. We can't stop with this precept, man.
Right, this is.
It's a heavy one.
Go on. Start at verse 67. Start at verse 67. Right? Like the brother said, man, we've been a target, man. We've been a target. Like they know who you messaging, they know who you watching. Right, the time to be scared is long overdue, man.
Right.
It's long, it's already out the window, man.
Right.
That's
You're too deep in this thing, man. Right, and too deep, man. Like remember you used to have to run at practice, right? You got the 1 minute, you gotta do X amount of suicides in 1 minute.
Yep.
Right, you halfway through it, like man, I don't think I can do it. Hey, it's too late for that, man.
Right.
You better make sure you ready to do it again,
Right.
so you can finish. It's too late to be scared, man.
Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 67. Behold, Yahweh himself is the judge. Fear him. Leave off from your sins and forget your iniquities. To meddle no more with them forever. So shall Yahweh lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you.
And who's that burning that multitude, that burning wrath? That's Esau, man.
Right.
Esau ready for that crackdown, man. Right, they got the kids shooting the AR-15s and they can barely walk. Right, they got the grenades. They got secret bunkers. I seen a video. It was 3 little dummies around a dude, and he had the gun in his hip.
Yep.
Looked all awkward with it, man. They've been practicing. They ready for this, man.
Yeah. John Wick.
And they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle, with things offered unto idols.
Right, we touched on this last Sabbath service before the lunar Sabbath. Right, go and check that out.
And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision underfoot.
Right.
For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord.
It's all hell is gonna break loose against those that are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, man. Right, they know who you are. They're gonna see the French. I was watching the Sakari video, A Cold Day in Hell in Harlem, right? And they was talking to the brother from the other camp, and he was like, well, I don't have to wear my fringes. I don't want to be, I want to be incognito. They don't need to know who I am, right? Yeah. He said you gotta be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Right? Those brothers in Sakari handled it well, man. They chopped him up to pieces, man. And he was sitting there looking like, y'all don't have the spirit on y'all. Like the brother said, they scared, man. When the Lord ever say be an incognito, only wear your fringes to camp.
I've heard it being called Clark Kent mode. They call it Clark Kent mode. They said, come on, you know, camp over Clark Kent mode. You know what it is. Yeah, they put the glasses on and take the fringes off, put them in a book bag, and put a sleeveless shirt on, man. And go to the brothel.
and shake the hand for an hour and a half and then walk away like it ain't nothing back into the world, man.
To the camera.
Right to the camera where ain't nobody around, man. No, we're not hiding our fringes, man. We're being that light set up on the hill. That's what the brothers in Sakari brought out in that video. We have to be that light, man. How you gonna wake up the next man if you half-assing it, man? You think Michael Jordan was only going to the gym once a week?
Right.
He was the first one in there, the last one to leave. Right? Yahweh was setting the example for the 12. Laboring hard, man. He didn't even go to sleep. Right? He said, look, please, just tarry with me, man. They was like, I can't do it. Right? Setting that example, man. Right? So it's going to be a great insurrection, man. And how you stand boldly for the name of the Lord in front of Esau may give the next brother the same spirit, man. Yeah. Like how Elisha got the spirit from Elijah. Right? Keep going, King.
Verse 71, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord.
Right, they gonna be going crazy, man. You're gonna see the true nature of Esau, man. Right? How they said they brute beasts. They're gonna be drooling, right, drinking blood. They're gonna be doing some abominable things to the 2/3, right? Wickedness. Right? Ain't no telling what's gonna happen. But this is talking about them that fear the Lord. They're gonna be going hard, man. They're gonna be going 10 times harder. Because they hate you, man. They hate your righteousness. Right, like how Bernie Mac in Don't Be a Menace, he said, I hate being black. Right, I hate my skin because it's black. I hate my gums because they black. That's how they going to be. They're going to be like, I hate you because I hate the Lord. And they're going to be shaking and they can't wait to just put their hands around you. They're going to torture you.
They going to be blaspheming the name of the Lord.
Right.
They're going to be writing the name of the Lord and pissing on it and spitting on it. You know, taking the manure, melting it in front of you, man. There's going to be madness going on. Taking your little son. I got your son calling your God. But that's Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter. You know?
Right. It's just 2 more verses you got to run.
Come.
Verse 72, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire.
So we're going to be cast out of our houses, catching hell, running for our lives. Then it's going to be known who the chosen of the Lord are, man. A brother in the chat, who's that? Barzia, the brother said, but they're going to be saying it wouldn't have happened to me if I was in Clark Kent mode.
Wow.
Right? That's fear, man.
No Clark Kent mode.
That's fear.
Clark Kent.
Where your fringes to camp.
That's off, man.
Off, man.
You got to keep.
Come. You bring this over.
I don't want that type of brother around me.
Yeah, you don't want that type of brother around you, man. Wicked spirit. All right, let's go to Revelation chapter 16, right, and verse number 21. It's going into the destruction, but even in the destruction, these are going to be the thoughts of your enemy, man. Right? Revelation chapter 16 and verse number 21.
Revelation chapter 16, verse 21. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. And men blaspheme Yahweh.
What the Lord say?
And men blaspheme
How you
Yahweh.
blaspheme the Lord when all hell is breaking loose, man? Literally, bombs dropping. Why are you doing? And they still gonna be damn screaming, yelling, cursing the Lord out, man. That's an evil, nasty lot, man. So, hey, man, like the Lord said, that which is crooked cannot be made straight. Stop trying to save Esau, man. Or think he has hope in this thing, man. Just because he wears all white and opens the door for you at work. Read on.
Salakia. Blaspheme Yahweh because of the plague of the hail. For the plague thereof was exceeding great.
Exceedingly great. So the thoughts of the wicked are all throughout the Bible. You got Revelation, the 16th chapter, Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, right? All throughout the Bible, the Lord shows you, man. Even in the book of Genesis, the 3rd chapter, the thoughts of the serpent, what he's telling Eve, man. So the Lord shows you how craftiness and how evil, right, these nations are. And we got to beware of them, man, and get ready for war.
God. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 16 and 40. Right? So this is, a lot of people say, well, how are we going to be a pilgrim on the earth? Well, it links up with Matthew 24 and 15. You're not just going to get up and walk outside the door. All right, well, it's time to be a pilgrim. And you put that nasty Edomite hat on. And that stick with the knapsack on it, like it's a cartoon, man. Waiting at the railroad. And we got you in the cartoon spirit, man.
The harmonica.
Yeah, the Lord isn't dealing with that, man. It's that red and white cloth. What is what I'm talking about? Tied to the end of that stick, man.
Knapsack.
Yeah, knapsack. Waiting out, whistling with your thumb in your mouth.
Skinny stick.
Yeah, man. The Lord, read that 2nd Ezra 16 and 40, man.
Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 40.
You're going to be a pilgrim on the earth because of the incoming enemy to besiege you in his temple. And the Lord said, let them which be in Judea flee to the mountains, which they actually did in the times of old, but you're going to have to flee again. That's what Yahweh said, pray that your flight be not on a Sabbath day. Because you're going to get put to flight by the so-called white man. Right? Or in the wintertime. So here's the flight and the apocrypha, 2nd Ezra 16 and 40.
O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle.
So it's a battle coming. Go on.
And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth.
The Lord said, be a pilgrim on the earth, man. Meaning you're not all these brothers who are fortified their houses. You bought all this plywood to board up your house. And all of the secret compartments, you turned your attic into a damn gun room and a damn dojo to fight against the so-called white man. No, you're going to be a pilgrim on the earth, man. You're going to be on the go. You understand? You might be in Maryland, and by the time the Lord come back, you might be somewhere in damn Jersey, man. Or somewhere in Utah. You've been walking for 5 weeks, like the book of Eli. You didn't know where you was at, man. They didn't have GPS back then. Or during that time, you understand, of that post-apocalyptic American world. And that's how it's going to be in the days to come. You're going to be a pilgrim on the earth. It might be you and your family, or it might not be you and your family. And you're going to be caught out there. There's no gas stations, no Rite Aids, no first aid kit, no 911. They already shut the 911 down. They're doing that in Atlanta. They did in all these other cities. They shutting 911 down. So all you're going to have is your faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. You're going to be seeing dead bodies everywhere. There's going to be feces all over the place. Wild beasts just going to and fro. Like they show you in I Am Legend. Because all of dead bodies going to bring predators, man. It's going to be vultures swooping down. You're going to go down those damn vultures. You're going to have to kick them off. But that's going to make a lot of noise. So you're going to attract people. Who's that? What they got. So people, it's going to be a whole lot of factors that go into that, man. You might be on the run trying to keep quiet. You got a baby, they making a lot of noise. You got to put your hand on their mouth, but they keep cutting up. Then you hear people in the back. Hey, who's over there? So you try to run, and your baby trying to keep up. I'm hungry. So it's gonna be madness, man. You gotta get. I got 1,000+ scenarios that are spinning in my mind 24/7 about what the hell may come on the earth, man. Now, let's go back to Matthew 24 real quick. Let's get like 3 more. We're gonna wind down. 24. Let's read 16 through 21, and we'll close up. 16 through 21.
Book of Matthew, chapter 16. Salakia. Book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 16.
And we say it in a light manner, but this is the reality of what's to come. This is real life. Serious times are coming, man. Let's bring that up.
Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains.
Right, place of refuge, go on.
Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house.
Yeah, you can't save anything. Your 1993 yearbook, your Nerf gun you had when you was 8, your Lucky Rock, and your pet parakeet. Leave all that stuff behind, man.
That's right.
It's time to make moves and get out of there. You're going to end up like Lot's wife. Go on.
Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes.
Hey, you trying to get your Jordans, right? Or your Timbs. Brother, make moves, man.
That's right.
I saw some brothers say they was gonna be stealing people's cars when they get the nice cars.
No, man, we don't have time for that. You're not going to elect. If you're the elect, you're not going to be thinking about stealing somebody's car, right? And murdering your brother and taking his Jordans. That's not the mind frame the Lord is going to have his men in. Go on.
And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days.
Yeah, it's not saying the Most High can't protect you and your children, but it's going to be a burden. You got to think about carnally speaking. Crying, they may give up your location. You got to feed them. They're questioning everything. What's going on? It's cold. They're complaining. They got to stop. My legs hurt. How long do we have to go? So it's going to be a whole lot going on, man. Right? Your woman pregnant. She damn 9 months, man. Kicking it. Then induced labor. Was that self-induced labor? Right? Then she go into labor and she can't move. And Esau sees only 1 day behind you. So you got to get this baby going, man. Right? There's no, anesthesia and epidurals during those times. Right? There's no painkillers and Tylenol. She going to have that baby out. They show you that in the movie The Road, man. She had to have that baby just cold out there, man. In the dark night. And they just had to pick the baby up, slap it and throw it on the shoulder and keep it moving. We don't have time. It's not going to be no baby showers. You coming over to see. No, look. It is what it is. So let's read on.
But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day.
Imagine being out just destitute in the wintertime. 10 degrees. Caught out there. Go on.
For then shall be great tribulation, such as...
Oh, it's lucky. And that Sabbath, they show that the law isn't done away with. Because why would the Lord say, don't worry about the Sabbath? I thought it was done away with. Right, go on.
For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. No, nor ever shall be.
So the abomination of desolation coming is going to be the worst time for the children of Israel ever recorded. Worse than the transatlantic slave trade, the Middle Passage, a 70 AD. It's going to be worse than all of that. Go on.
And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be
The
shortened.
Lord is going to speed things up for the elect. Right? But with that, Kwam Yashalom.
Kwam Yashalom.
Kwam Yashalom.
Kwam Yashalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.